I want to read a tweet for you. I want to read a little post from X for you. This is from the DOGE account, and it is quite possibly one of my favorite little posts from any governmental organization that I've seen in a very, very long time. Quote, on the irs.gov website, the login button was not in the top right on the nav bar like it is on most websites. It was weirdly placed in the middle of the page below the fold. Here, I'm going to show you a screenshot of it. This is where the sign-in page, the login link was. It was in the middle of the page. It was a little weird. An IRS engineer explained that the soonest that this changing that where that login link was located on the page, nothing else, no functional changes, just where the link was, the soonest that change could get deployed was July 21st, 103 days from then. 103 days to make an HTML and CSS change. I love it. This engineer worked with the DOGE team to delete the red tape and accomplish the task in 71 minutes. See the before and after pictures below. There are great people at the IRS who are simply being strangled by bureaucracy. Here's the before, right? There's the login link in the middle. And now the sign-in button is now up at the top right where it is on most websites. Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing. That's not a big deal, right? Right? That's not an important thing. That's not an important change to make. It's a minor, trivial, itty-bitty little thing. But the idea that it would take 103 days, over 3 months, to make what is an incredibly minor HTML and maybe some CSS change is absolutely obscene. And it is one of the greatest examples that I could almost think of how inefficient and wasteful the government is at things. Over the last several months, there's been a couple of stories coming out about groups within the United States government that were development groups and that work on engineering related projects. And many of those groups have now been shut down or significantly been laid off, a whole bunch of those engineers. And some of those engineers are over on Mastodon and just yelling about how this is the end of democracy if you fire the programmers from the government. And the more I look into it, the more I am astounded by how little work they did. Like we're talking about massive development teams, big old groups within the US government that had tons of funding and were really well paid, that did like WordPress blogs, like a new theme for a WordPress blog, something that like normally one guy does, like on the weekend. Or they'll update the Park Service website, and it'll be just a couple of pages with a few new designs. Nothing big, and it'll take them like a year to accomplish it. Like, it's massive, the amount of time and resources that get wasted in the engineering of software within the government. And why is that happening? And so this example just is perfect. 103 days to move a login link, not to change the functionality of it, not to implement the ability to log in, just to move where it is on one page and change nothing else. 103 days. But yeah, you remove the red tape, you get rid of the government bureaucracy behind it, and that engineer, who probably knows what he's doing, can just sit down and bang it out in 20 minutes, hand it off to the QA guy to verify that it didn't break anything else obvious, and push it to production. I mean, let's say that that's recklessly fast, right? Let's say that's too fast. You gotta go through multiple stages, and because this is a government website, you really need to double check everything. I'm like, okay, let's say we need to do regression testing on everything else on that web page. Okay, so put it in, pass it over to QA, and let QA spend the week on it. Let's let them spend a week testing that moved login link. Great. it's still at that point is what how much from 7 days to 103 days. I mean, that's a pretty massive savings. Like, how many fold changes that? I mean, it's crazy. So we can do it now 13 times faster if we're still doing it psychotically slowly. I love it. I love seeing this sort of thing. Dare I say, this is what I voted for. Not the moving of the login link. I could care less about where the login link is. Did it need to happen? Probably not. But it's an example, right? It's cutting the red tape and the bureaucracy and all of that around something this simple inevitably is going to help with actually important things, right? With real substantial functionality and back-end changes across many and varied government computer systems, right? The more of that we can cut, the better, because holy heavens, 103 days to move a login link. And what was crazy about this is I am sure there are some of the extreme leftists out there that are really upset about this. I guarantee it. Go look on the internet. I haven't bothered to look, honestly, because it's been way too busy of a week. I've got all the IBM and Red Hat leaks happening, and it's chaos. So I haven't bothered to go and hunt it down. But I guarantee you, there's some extreme leftists in the tech industry that are furious at this change. This is the end of democracy. Undoubtedly. But there you go. So now the login page for IRS.gov has gone from this weird spot in the middle to this totally normal spot in the upper right, which I could care less about. But it only took 71 minutes, so who cares? They just shaved 102 days and 23-ish hours off of the development time for that one change. So kudos to them. Thank you to the Lunduke Journal subscribers. For those of you following me all over the place, thank you. For those of you supporting the work that the Lunduke Journal does, I truly appreciate it. Because this is the only place. This is the last bastion of truly independent tech journalism. And I say that as like a cool slogan, but the reality is it's true. There is nobody in the tech industry that covers the stories that the Lunduke Journal covers. And that's because of all of you, and I couldn't do it without you. So lunduke.com, click on a bunch of links and have a great time with it. With that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, nerds and nerdettes across the inner tubes, I do declare, end broadcast.